All right, so this is going to be another movie review. This one's called 310 to Yuma, 1957. Giving it 2 out of 5 stars. I just like this. 1957 U.S. Western film directed by Delmer Daves, starring Glenn Ford and Van Heflin. Felicia Farr was in Big House USA. Leora Dana. She was in The Boston Strangler and Amityville 3D. Okay. A lot of familiar faces in this one. Based on a 1953 short story by Elmer Leonard. It's about a drought-impoverished rancher who takes on a risky job of escorting a notorious outlaw played by Glenn Ford to justice. In 2012, it was selected for preservation in the U.S. National Film Registry by the Library of Congress as culturally, historically, or aesthetically significant. The title song, The 310 to Yuma, was written by George Dunning. Music and Ned Washington lyrics, and sung at the beginning and end by Frankie Lane. I thought the ending was spectacular, but the rest of the movie was boring. I say skip the first hour and 20 minutes. It was kind of interesting that Glenn Ford turned from bad guy into a good guy. What are you looking at? My son's looking at my bookcase. Bring back memories of your early childhood. All right. He recorded it for Columbia Records in 1957 with the Jimmy Carroll Orchestra and in 1960 with the Johnny Williams Orchestra. It was also recorded by Sandy Denny in 1967 for Island Records. The film was remade in 2007, directed by James Mangold and starring Russell Crowe and Christian Bale. I have not seen the 2007 remake. Thank God. In the Arizona Territory of the 1880s. Oh, Grover Cleveland's time. When was Grover Cleveland president? 1885. Oh, 1885 to 1889, and from 1893 to 1897. Grover Cleveland served twice. Once in the 80s and once in the 90s. When the stagecoach driver manages to overpower one of the robbers, Wade calmly shoots both men dead. Ben Wade is played by Glenn Ford, the Canadian actor. On the way to Mexico, the robbers stop at a saloon in Bisbee. Why did I say Bisbee? In Bisbee for drinks. Evans alerts the town marshal of the robbery and the murders. A posse is assembled, and Wade instructs his men to ride across the border to safety until he can rejoin them while the posse heads back toward the stage. The posse meets up with Dan and the stagecoach company's owner, Mr. Butterfield, another familiar face, who accompanies the lawmen as they head to the saloon. Charlie Prince, Wade's second in charge, the drunk town guy, returns to Bisbee. He's another familiar face, Charlie Prince, to see what is holding up Wade just before the posse arrives back in town. Evans distracts Wade, allowing the marshal to come up behind Wade and arrest him. Prince is shot in the hand, but he escapes on his horse to retrieve the rest of the gang. Marshall requests 2 volunteers to escort Wade to Contention City to catch a train, the 310 to Yuma, where he can be held for trial. Butterfield offers to pay any volunteer $200, and Dan and a drunkard posse member named Alex Potter volunteer their service. Oh, I got Charlie Prince mixed up. Okay, Charlie Prince is Wade's second in charge. He's another familiar face, but he's not the town drunkard. That would be Alex Potter. I got the 2 mixed up. Sorry about that. The marshal has a man pretending to be Wade placed on a stagecoach leaving town that evening, hoping to mislead Wade's men and buy Dan and Potter some time. Wade is taken to Dan's ranch, where Alice Evans, his wife, learns of her husband's decision. Wade is subsequently moved to Contention City, where Dan and Potter meet Butterfield in a hotel room to wait for the train. Wade tries to bribe Dan into letting him go. Dan's refusal to do so impresses the outlaw because Dan has strong morals. He's got a moral code, Judean Christian principles. The slain stagecoach driver's brother, Bob Moons, arrives, barges into the hotel room seeking revenge. Dan wrestles his gun away, but it goes off. Prince, having secretly tracked the party to Contention, hears the gunshot and alerts Wade's gang. How did he know that they were going to Contention, this Prince guy? That's the part I missed. The local sheriff is out of town, so Butterfield hires 5 local men to provide security while Wade is taken to the rail station. As the gang surrounds the hotel, the locals run off, once again leaving only Dan, Alex, and Butterfield. Yeah, they're too chicken. They're only getting paid $50, and they have a family. Alex saves Dan from getting shot by an outlaw on the roof, but Prince shoots Alex in the back and has the men hang from the hotel chandelier. Butterfield is horrified and offers to give Dan his money, planning to release Wade. Alice arrives and tries to change her husband's mind, but he's committed to see Wade brought to justice. Dan takes Wade out the back door, skillfully moving him across town as the outlaws fire at them. The outlaws finally catch up to Dan. As the train starts to leave, Prince shouts for Wade to drop down so he can shoot Dan. Instead, Wade tells Dan to jump in the passing car. This is when Glenn Ford turns from bad guy into a good guy, and they leap to safety together. The gang runs after the train, but Dan shoots Prince dead, and the rest give up pursuit. Wade explains that he owed Dan a favor for saving his life earlier, and he claims that he has broken out of a human jail before, meaning Dan will be able to claim his reward honestly. And that's not the end. There's more. I'm not going to spoil the ending, but I did want to apologize to my 3 fans, Adrian, Karate Man, and Professor Quiz. But I didn't list them in order of importance. They're all top 3. I've been watching a lot of Ash vs. Evil Dead on my portable DVD player, and I don't have much time to watch it, except for when I'm with him, because I can't watch it at work. And at my grocery delivery job, they're making me work all the way through. I work 14 hours all the way through yesterday. And they wanted me to come into work last night, and I was sleeping. But the manager found a replacement at my other job. So he wants me to work next weekend. I told him I don't have enough vacation sick time at my other job. But basically, I worked 69 hours in 1 week. I'm burned out. So that's the reason why I've been holding out on you guys. Apologies. And I'll go through my list later. David Halewell bought the story to the Associates and Aldrich, the production company of Robert Aldrich. Halstead Wells did the script. Aldrich sold this to Columbia for $100,000. When first released in the summer of 1957, the film became popular among audiences and critics alike for its suspense and sharp black and white cinematography. I wasn't too impressed by that. Ford received favorable notice for his atypical role as a villain. Yeah, I'm not used to seeing Glenn Ford as a villain. The following year, 3:10 to Yuma was nominated for the British Academy of Film and Television Arts Award for Best Film and the Laurel Award for Top Male Action Star, which went to Val Heflin. The film caused Yuma to enter the lexicon of Cuban slang. Yuma is literally Cuban for gringos and used to describe U.S. visitors, while La Yuma is the United States. A 2007 remake under James Mangold's direction of Russell Crowe and Christian Bale was critically successful. A Region 1 DVD was released in 2002. A Region A1 Blu-ray DVD of the film was released as part of the Criteria Collection in 2013. There's a disc that I got. Cheap looking thing. I got the cheapo disc from Netflix. So I saw Stephanie on Tuesday, and she used my line. She used my pickup line. She said, "Oh, it sure is nice to see you." So I walked right up to her. I was towering over her, and then she made her eyeshadow area between her eyebrows and her eyes. She made it wrinkle as she was looking up at me. I guess she was expecting me to put my arm around her or something, like what my other coworkers do all the time. Anyways, that was exciting. The most excitement I had all week was Tuesday with Stephanie. That was the highlight of my week right there. Anyways, let's go down this list, shall we? The good news is that I'm finally ready to watch this movie that both Adrian and Karate Man recommended. Or at least Adrian mentioned it, Karate Man recommended, I should say. It's called Stick, 1985. That's the top of my list. That's what I'm watching next. Probably can't finish it today, though. And then The Forest, 1982, Phantom from Space, 1953, Dungeon of Horror, 1962, The Amazing Mr. X, 1948, Damnation Alley, 1977, Shadow Warriors 2, 1999, Law of the Jungle, 1942, Blake of Scotland Yard, 1937, Kansas City Confidential, 1952, The White Cannibal Queen, 1980, Windjammer, 1937, Swampfire, 1946, Police Story 4, Blood Ring, 1991, Hostile Country, 1950, Rotor, The Wrong Road, 1937, You Bet Your Life, Identity Unknown, 1945, Chained for Life, 1952, Untamed Women, 1952, Texas Brooklyn in Heaven, 1948. Beast from Haunted Cave, 1959. Moon of the Wolf, 1972. Hurricane Smith, 1992. Showdown, 1993. Best of the Best 2. TNT, 1997. My Dear Secretary, 1948. The Mystery Man, 1935. Bride of the Gorilla, 1951. Letter of Introduction, 1938. Dick Tracy versus the Mole, Season 1, Episodes 9 through 12. Devil's Island, 1939. Angel Town, 1990. Mercenary, 1996. Night Fright, 1967. DEFCON 4, 1985. Santa Fe Trail, 1940. Renegade Girl, 1946. Passport for a Corpse, 1962. Black Dragons, 1942. Cyborg Cop 2. Drums of the Desert, 1940. Shock, 1946. It Lives by Night. Train to Tombstone, 1950. Deputy Marshal, 1949. Broadway Limited, 1941. The Strange Woman, 1946. The Fighter, 1952. Bamboo Gods and Iron Man, 1976. Zero Tolerance. Ulterior Motives, 1992. The Big Chance, 1933. I'll See You in Hell, 1960. The Case, Hostile Country, 1950. Three Desperate Men, 1951. The Star Packer, 1934. The Devil's Hand, 1961. My Outlaw Brother, 1951. Godzilla versus Mechagodzilla. Talons of the Eagle. Riders of the Whistling Pines, 1949. Portraits of Terror, The Final Curtain. Safe and Effective, A Second Opinion, 2022. Malibu Crush, 2022. Dead Tides, 1996. Easy Money, 1936. Swing High, Swing Low, 1937. An Eye for an Eye. The Real Anthony Fauci, 2022. Return to the Batcave, The Misadventures of Adam and Bert. The Giant Gila Monster, 1959. And Shadows on the Stairs, 1941. So there you have it, my list. And I showed you the disc. And I did my first movie review in the week. So you guys will be posting comments. All three of you guys. Don't see Karate Man in the chat room. I think he gave up on me. All right. Time to watch Stick. Laters.